Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for coming out today and listening to my nonsense about me being a gym teacher for a month. It was super fun, I'm not gonna lie. But it sounds like it's like the easiest job to actually do. And going into it, I did it my junior year, so I was already familiar with it, but I already knew coming into this senior year for my SLED, Collin was gonna give me 10 times more freedom. I was really comfortable with it. I felt like I belonged there. I felt like I was meant to lead this class. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the hardest thing about running this class was just to get the kids to sit down. Just to have them sit and be quiet for more than like 30 seconds was like the biggest accomplishment. Like I deserve a Nobel Prize for that. But like what I figured out, like just going on with it, like they got all this energy built up inside of them. They've been sitting in class all day. They have at least one period just to let it all out, which I think is the biggest thing for them to do. And when they would sit down, some kids would talk, some kids would distract. And at first I would do like simple methods, like if you can hear me clap once, and clap, and they would respond with it. But further on the line, just stuff like that with like getting angry at them, like you guys need to listen up, being stern, it didn't work that well. And I just learned just to say what our plan is today, what we're gonna do, and that was it. If they didn't get it, not my problem. He's gonna have fun. You're gonna go run around. I don't care what you do. Just don't like hit kids, because that'd be bad. But going into it, it was super fun. First day of class, I was really comfortable from what I thought. Then when Collin was like, all right, here's the lesson plan, you're gonna do it. And I was like, really? I'm gonna be the gym teacher for all these kids? Walked in there. I was like, all right, guys, listen up. They just looked at me, and then they're like, yeah, no, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to talk to my friend. I was like, what do I do? But you figure it out. For me, it's almost like a second nature came upon me, and I came to a realization of just not to fight them, just to let them be them for one period, because they don't have that in the classroom, because you got to be quiet, you got to listen, you got to do studies. Just to have that class of being with your friends, being active, everything like that is really good for them. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking. Really nervous, if you can't tell. So I want to give you guys an example of what Collin said and what Dinkle has probably seen me do is one of my biggest, I'd say, accomplishments actually doing this SLE. So we had a game to play. For those of you that know what sharps and minnows are, I don't know if you guys have played that, childhood. It's a really fun game. Basically, there's one person that's it. It's basically a tag game. You have to run all the way across the field, or in this case, the gym, to get to the other side without getting tagged. Once you're tagged, you have to stand there. But we made a version of a game called Octopus. So, if you're the octopus, you go and eat the humans. That's how I explain to the kids. They love that. Really dark, really dark people. Didn't think I would get that reaction. I was like, you gotta eat the humans. They were like, yeah! I was like, oh God. So, when they would run across, it was almost easy for some kids. Because, there's more athletic kids than the kids that are not so athletic. And I felt bad. So I was like, I'm gonna try and make it as even as possible. But I'm not gonna lie, I did it for my own personal amusement. Hopefully, like, something will go wrong. It'd be interesting. Builds character if you fall down. So, when the octopus would stay in the center, a couple times I had him run back and forth. Only like 2 kids would get out. I was like, this is lame. This is not how this Tatum class is going to go today. So I would go, all right, people that are not it, you have to hop on one leg all the way across. Of course, they all gave me attitude, and they were like, why do we have to do this? Tatum, this is dumb. I was like, hey, I'm a teacher. You got to listen to me. Just do it. Once they did it, a lot of them would get out. Like, majority of half the class would get out within the first round. And as the new games started coming over and over, they almost had a drive to try even harder at the simplest task, like hopping on one leg, hopping on both legs, bear crawling, crab walking. I've never seen kids in my life try as hard to do the simplest task than what I saw doing that. Like just having them hop on one leg, kids would like run halfway and be like, nope, octopus is coming. They go straight back. They would run around the gym trying to get away, but they tried so hard, and they moved more than they did than when I was like, just run, get to the other side. And the gain I had from actually watching this was that the benefit of just even doing simple things or adding twists to the games has them exercise more and get more energy out than it is just playing the game by the rules. And like me, I don't like to follow rules. I don't. I like to find loopholes at everything and try and get around them. I'm not going to lie about that one. And the funniest thing that I actually want to bring up is there's this kid in the class named Sachin. He talks, he would distract, and I was like, dude, you're not gonna like know what to do when the game comes. Like just in my head, I was like, you're gonna like come up to me and be like, what do I do, Tatum? I'm gonna be like, well, you should have listened. But this kid, even though he talked and distracted, he listened to every single detail that I pointed out there. And he found loopholes to every game. Every single game I told them to play, he found loopholes. And kids would come up to me, oh, Sachin's cheating, he can't do this. I was like, technically, I never said you couldn't do that. And at that point, I kind of realized, like, even though they're talking, they're still listening. So it's not really that bad of a thing. Like, yes, it's good to show respect to the teacher by not talking. Like, I get that with Collin, and I'm in his electives. He puts that very sternly, not to talk when he's talking. But for me, they still listen, even though they might not comprehend everything as perfectly as you wish. They still get it through there, and they still comprehend, and it's amazing because it's such a young age. I think Sachin's in like the first grade or second grade, and he outsmarted me when it comes to this stuff, and I was amazed. But basically, the last thing I want to talk about is this made me grow tremendously as a person. This is something that I thought I would never actually want to pursue doing in my life. But it is. Never thought about going to college. I don't do well in school now, so I thought I'd just mess up college. But now after doing this and having this hands-on experience that was so rich and so amazing and felt real, this is something I actually would enjoy to do as a career, as a job, just to watch these kids that have such bright futures ahead of them run around and have fun. And maybe one day, like, I'm the reason why they are the president of the United States. I don't know. That'd be awesome, because I did that. But that's the biggest fulfillment I've ever had, is just to watch these kids have fun and just lose their mind, just run around, scream. Even on warm-up laps, they were having a blast. I hate running. I don't even know why they like it so much. They just make everything so happy. But thank you, guys. I will be taking questions now. Thank you so much for listening to me rant about. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Wendy. I'm not going to lie. Kindergarten. They are the most respectful people. They are the most respectful people in the world. They will sit there and like look at you like puppets. They'd be like, yes, Tatum, I'm ready to do whatever you say, sir. I'd be like, all right, let's do this. We're going to have fun today. Other than that, like the rest of the kids would be like, it's just Tatum. He ain't a real teacher. Let's just go over here and mess around. I'm like, no, get back to the circle. They're like, nah, you can do nothing. Any other questions?